Hi, my name is Lanier Steins, and I'm going to be talking about the geneticist Craig Venter, who completed the first human genome sequence ever. Venter's, Venter was born on October 14th, 1946, in Salt Lake City. He was the youngest son of an excommunicated Mormon father who drank too much and was a heavy smoker. Venter's father died at the age of 59. His family then moved to the suburbs of San Francisco, where they lived near train tracks. Venter would routinely play chicken with the trains. Venter would also go surfing at the nearby Half Moon Bay. The location is well known for Mavericks, a big wave surf location. Pillow Point Harbor is also immediately north of Half Moon Bay. When the Vietnam War began, Venter enlisted into the Navy. The Navy realized that Venter was smarter than his high school grades let on and trained him to be a medic. Venter was shipped to Da Nang Hospital, where he triaged soldiers returning from battle. This experience traumatized him and made him suicidal. He was even sent to the brig twice for ignoring orders given to him by superiors. When Venter left the Army, he went to college to become a doctor at the University of San Francisco in California. He discovered science and finished his undergraduate and graduate degree in 6 years, and he then taught at the University of Buffalo. After that, Venter joined the National Health Institute in 1984. He joined the Human Genome Project before leaving to form his own nonprofit, and even caused the head of the Human Genome Project to quit. James Watson, the former head of the Human Genome Project, was critical of how Venter went about his work and even compared him to Hitler at times. Venter later challenged the Human Genome Project to a sequencing race in 1998. Announced the first human genome sequence from the White House in 2000, and later published a paper on it in 2003 with roughly 99% accuracy. He then moved on to synthetic life. The process of creating synthetic life took Venter and his team 10 years to complete. They had to understand which genes were necessary for survival and which ones were not. This resulted in years of research and experiments. To ensure that the bacteria couldn't be misidentified, a website, a code, and the name of the scientists who worked on it are coded into the genome of the bacteria, along with 3 quotes. Before the project was even started, Venter asked Art Kaplan's team at the University of Pennsylvania to review the risks, challenges, and ethics of creating new life in the lab as it had never been done before. For 2 years, Kaplan's team investigated the ethics of life being created in the lab before publishing their findings in the journal Science in 1999. Venter was currently working on the Human Genome Project at the time. The experiment began with the bacteriophage X174, chosen for historical reasons, being that it was the first DNA virus to have its DNA sequenced. It also had a base pair of 5,000, which made Venter and his team realize they would have a much larger chromosome. After repairing a single base deletion that set them back 3 months, Venter and his team created the first blue colonies. The signature that can be found in the synthetic chromosome has a code that allows for the names of each author to be added to the chromosome as a watermark. Venter announced the completion of the synthetic cell in 2010, which led to many controversies, as some saw Venter trying to play God or believed that it was unethical for him to have created a new organism in the lab. He even disclosed the fact that it was contemplated whether or not to classify the research. He has since created 2 more iterations of the synthetic bacteria. He has also begun looking into ways to increase the human life by figuring out how death occurs. Both Venter and a friend of his, Ham Smith, were diagnosed with cancer that needed to be treated immediately. Venter argues that if Ham Smith's cancer was found a few weeks later, it would have killed him. As a result of the current pandemic, the JCVI, J. Craig Venter Institute, has been working on finding ways to deal with COVID-19. Their work has mainly been in sequencing the genetic code of the virus to better understand how it functions, which opens opportunities to cure it and slow its spread. They've been working with various coronaviruses for over 25 years and coronavirus research for over 15 years. Many different members of JCVI are focused on different areas, including saliva tests and immune testing, among other things. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and I hope you have learned something about one of the many geneticists who have changed the world.